She was on the verge of transferring her $500 million inheritance to her husband when a single overheard moment shattered everything. Sophia Williams believed love meant giving without limits, and she was ready to hand it all over, until one revelation cut her deeper than she could ever imagine. The harshest betrayals often come from those closest to us. What would you do if the one you trusted most became the one who broke you beyond repair? Join us as we walk through this unforgettable tale of love, trust, and ultimate betrayal. Hello family, welcome back. Don't forget to subscribe and let us know in the comments where you're watching from. Sophia woke up to the aroma of fresh coffee and the sound of her husband humming in the kitchen. Daniel Miller stood there in a crisp shirt, tie loosely hanging, a relaxed smile on his face. When she entered, he held up a mug. "Good morning, gorgeous. Cream and 2 sugars." Her heart softened. "You remember everything?" "I try," he said, kissing her forehead. "Big day today. Are you sure you're ready?" Sophia settled at the table, taking a sip. "I've never been more certain. Daniel, you're my husband. Our lives should be one, not divided by money." He chuckled gently, squeezing her hand. "Our life. I like how that sounds." Her phone buzzed. A message from her best friend, Lily. "Are you really sure about this? Call me, asterisk." Sophia frowned and typed back quickly. "I'm fine. I love him, asterisk." Another reply appeared almost instantly. "Love doesn't mean blind trust. Be careful, asterisk." She sighed and set her phone down. "Everything okay?" Daniel asked, pouring himself coffee. "Lily," Sophia said. "She thinks lawyers always hide traps." Daniel laughed lightly. "Well, she's not wrong. But don't worry, love. There are no traps today." Sophia smiled, reaching across the table to squeeze his hand. "Exactly. Today is about trust." Later, while dressing, her phone rang. It was her mother. Margaret Williams had the voice of a woman who never bent easily. "Honey, I heard. Today's the day." "Yes, Mom," Sophia answered, forcing cheer. "A little nervous, but I know what I'm doing." "You don't have to sign your life away just to prove your love," her mother said bluntly. "Why not a joint trust? Why give him everything?" "Because I don't want barriers between us," Sophia said firmly. "I want him to know I'm all in." There was silence before her mother softened. "Trust isn't blindness, sweetheart. Trust looks and still chooses." "I know, Mom. I have to go now." At the law office, their family lawyer, Mr. Harris, greeted them with his usual calm demeanor. Sharp-eyed behind his glasses, he led them to his office, where a thick stack of documents waited. "Mrs. Miller," Harris said, "these papers transfer control of the Williams estate to your husband. Before you sign, I must ask, this is your decision, without any pressure?" "Yes," Sophia said steadily. Daniel sat beside her quietly, posture patient, eyes bright with modest pride. "You understand this gives him full control, accounts, property, board decisions, everything," Harris reminded. "I understand." He slid the pen across the table. "There's no rush. You can always take more time." "I'm ready," Sophia said with a faint smile. Just before she reached the final page, her phone rang again. "Lily." "Excuse me," Sophia murmured, stepping outside. "Don't sign," Lily said urgently the second Sophia answered. "Soph, I had this dream, you were trapped in a room with no doors." "I know it sounds silly, but—" "It's not silly," Sophia tried to laugh. "But I'll be fine." "Then listen to me. If he really loves you, he doesn't need this. Promise me you'll think twice." Through the glass, Sophia saw Daniel waiting calmly, scrolling his phone. He looked perfectly ordinary, perfectly patient. "I'll think about it," she whispered. Good. I'll be praying, Lily replied. Sophia slipped her phone away and returned inside. Everything all right? Harris asked. Yes, she said softly, setting the pen down. I'll sign tomorrow. I just want one more night. Daniel looked briefly surprised, then smiled quickly. Of course. Take your time. Wise decision, Harris agreed. I'll hold the papers. On the drive home, Daniel held her hand. I'm proud of you. For what? She asked. For listening to yourself. That takes strength. She smiled faintly. Thanks. At home, Daniel cooked lemon chicken while old Jazz played in the background. He teased her about how quickly she devoured strawberries, and she teased him about smoothing his hair before every call. They danced a little by the stove, laughing when he nearly dropped a spoon. The house radiated warmth, the kind of life Sophia always dreamed of. Over dinner, he asked, "Do you remember our first date?" "The food truck festival," she said instantly. "You spilled hot sauce on your shirt. And you told me it looked like art," she laughed. "That's when I knew I'd marry you," Daniel chuckled. She blushed. "You were nervous." "Terrified," he admitted. "But you were Sophia Williams. And now you're mine." After dinner, he washed dishes and told her to rest. Later, they curled on the couch, watching a movie. At the credits, he kissed her knuckles, looking like the picture of a devoted husband. "I'll just make a few calls in the study. Little work things." "Relax," he said. She nodded. "Okay." She set water to boil for tea, then remembered he kept honey in the study drawer. Smiling, she padded quietly down the hall. The door was ajar, light spilling out. She froze at the voice, sharp, cold, nothing like his usual tone. "She didn't sign today." "Tomorrow she will," Daniel's voice cut through the air. Sophia's blood turned to ice. "Yes, once she signs, it's over. We move it offshore, through the shells. She won't see it coming." Her body went numb. "She's in love," Daniel continued with a cruel laugh. "She thinks giving without limits is what love means. After tomorrow, the board answers to me, not her. Next week, she's out. Done." Sophia's breath caught in her chest. The kettle snapped off loudly in the kitchen. Daniel paused. "Hold on," he muttered into the phone. His footsteps approached. Sophia slipped back into the shadows of the hall, heart pounding. The study door creaked wider. Daniel scanned the hallway. "Just the kettle," he said lightly before shutting the door. Sophia stood frozen in the dark, hand over her mouth, her world collapsing in silence. The roses on the dining table glowed beautifully, yet they felt like poison daggers. Everything she believed about love and trust had just been turned into a weapon aimed directly at her. Sophia sat on the edge of her bed long after Daniel drifted off to sleep. The city's faint glow filtered through the curtains while his steady breathing filled the room. He slept peacefully, as if he carried no guilt, while her chest tightened with rage and heartbreak. "How can he lie beside me so calmly after plotting to destroy me?" she whispered into the dark, her voice breaking. "How long, Daniel? How long have you been deceiving me?" She turned to him. He shifted slightly in his sleep, looking innocent, harmless. To the outside world, he was the perfect husband. But Sophia knew better now. She had heard the mask slip. She had heard the truth. When dawn came, Daniel was already dressed sharply in his navy suit, leaning against the doorway with his usual smile. "Morning, love," he said lightly. "Ready for round two?" Sophia rubbed her tired eyes. "You're up early." "Big day," he said with a grin. "Wanted to be extra prepared." She forced a smile. "Of course." He walked over, sitting beside her. "Hey, you're pale. Everything all right?" "Just didn't sleep much." Nerves again? A little, she admitted. He kissed her forehead. That's normal. But after today, you'll feel lighter. No lawyers, no board, no mother breathing down your neck. Just you and me. Sophia's heart clenched. My mom means well, Z. Daniel chuckled. She never trusted me. But once she sees what we've built, she'll come around. Sophia studied him carefully. Do you ever think I'm giving too much? His eyes flickered, but the smile didn't fade. Soph, marriage isn't about keeping score. You give because you love. I accept because I love you. It's simple. Simple, she echoed softly. Downstairs, over coffee, her phone buzzed. Lily's name lit the screen. Daniel noticed. Lily again, he asked, raising a brow. She worries, Sophia said. About me? She worries about everyone, Sophia replied quickly. Daniel smirked. Maybe she needs a hobby. The phone buzzed again. He leaned back. Go on, answer her. Put her at ease. Sophia hesitated before answering. Lily? Are you with him? Lily asked urgently. Yes. Then don't say much. Just listen. I've had a bad feeling all night. Sophia's chest tightened. She glanced at Daniel, who was watching her closely. We'll talk later, she said quickly, keeping her voice calm. Later might be too late, Lily warned. Please, Lily, Sophia forced a smile for Daniel's benefit. I'll call you after. Fine. But Soph, don't let love blind you, Lily said before hanging up. What was that about? Daniel asked lightly. She's just protective, Sophia replied. Protective or paranoid? Protective, she said firmly. Daniel brushed her hand. I'm glad you have her. But remember, you've got me too. I'm not going anywhere. She forced a smile. I know. Later that morning, on the drive to the law office, Daniel hummed along with the radio, tapping the steering wheel like a carefree man. Sophia sat stiff, hands folded tightly in her lap. You're awfully quiet, Daniel noted. Just thinking. Don't overthink. Trust your heart. That's what makes you you. And if my heart is wrong, she murmured. It's not, Daniel said smoothly. Your heart chose me. That's proof enough. At the office, Harris greeted them warmly, but his eyes lingered on Sophia. Mr. and Mrs. Miller, shall we? They sat at the long polished table. The documents weighted neatly, the pen gleaming like bait. Daniel leaned back, hands folded, relaxed. Sophia tried to appear calm, but her stomach churned. Ready to continue? Harris asked. Sophia glanced at Daniel, then back at Harris. Actually, may I speak to you alone? Daniel's eyes narrowed. Alone? Yes, Sophia said firmly. Daniel forced a laugh. Of course. Take your time. He kissed her cheek before stepping out. Once the door closed, Harris leaned forward. Tell me. Sophia's hands shook. I overheard him last night. He said once I sign, I'm finished. He talked about moving everything offshore. He mocked me, said I think love means giving without limits. He called me blind. Harris's jaw tightened. I feared this. He's been too eager. Too smooth. You did right to tell me. What do I do? She whispered. You can't confront him yet. He'll deny it. He could become dangerous. You must pretend nothing is wrong. As for the documents, we'll alter them. On the surface, it'll look like you're granting him control, but in truth, you'll remain protected. He won't be able to access a thing without your consent. Sophia's eyes widened. He won't know. He won't, Harris said firmly. But you must stay composed. If he suspects, he may act rashly. She swallowed hard. I'll try. Good. Now go back out there. Say you want one more night. I'll prepare the new papers. Sophia nodded, wiping her eyes. She opened the door. Daniel looked up instantly, smiling too quickly. Well, he asked. I want one more night, Sophia said softly. Daniel studied her, then smiled warmly. Of course. Take your time. On the drive home, he wrapped his arm around her. You're nervous. That's okay, but tomorrow, all of this will be behind us. Sophia forced a smile. Tomorrow. That evening, Daniel was almost too perfect. He bought fresh flowers, cooked her favorite meal, and told funny stories from his college days. He made her laugh until she nearly forgot the knife hidden behind his charm. Anyone watching would think he adored her. But now, every touch felt rehearsed. Every smile looked staged. And Sophia couldn't unhear his cruel words from the night before, after tomorrow, she's finished. When they sat down to eat, Daniel lifted his glass. To us, he said with warmth in his voice. Sophia steadied her hands enough to raise her glass. To us. Their glasses clinked, wine spilling slightly onto the table. Daniel laughed, wiping it up with a napkin. Clumsy me. She smiled faintly. Clumsy you. After dinner, they curled up on the couch. Daniel rested his head in her lap, scrolling through his phone, showing her memes, cracking jokes. She laughed in all the right places, stroking his hair as though nothing was wrong. Inside, her heart felt heavy as stone. At one point, Daniel looked up at her with sincerity in his eyes. You really are the best thing that's ever happened to me. Sophia held his gaze. Am I? Yes, he said quickly, without hesitation. Why would you doubt that? She forced a small smile. No reason. Later, he excused himself to make a call in the study. Sophia's phone buzzed again. Lily. She slipped into the bathroom and answered quietly. Lily. Please tell me you didn't sign, Lily begged. I didn't. I told Harris everything. He's rewriting the documents. Thank God. Soph, you need to get out of there. What if he suspects? I can't. Not yet. If I run, he'll know. I have to pretend. Sophia, you're scaring me. I'm scaring myself, she admitted. But I need to be smart. If he finds out I don't know what he'll do. Promise me you'll call the second you're safe. I promise. From the study, Daniel's voice carried faintly, calm, smooth, charming. Sophia hung up, staring at her reflection in the mirror. She barely recognized herself, eyes shadowed, mouth tight, heart aching. She whispered, the illusion is gone. Now it's war. The morning sun streamed through the blinds, casting gold stripes across the dining table. Sophia sat before untouched toast, her stomach too knotted to eat. Daniel poured coffee at the counter, humming cheerfully. Big day, he said, sliding a cup toward her. You ready? She gripped the cup with both hands to steady her trembling fingers. Yes. Daniel brushed her hair back tenderly. I knew you'd come around. That's my girl, thoughtful but loyal. Her phone buzzed. A text from Harris, asterisk all set. Don't worry. Stick to the plan, asterisk Sophia's pulse quickened. She quickly flipped the phone face down. What was that? Daniel asked casually. Lily, she lied. Checking in again. Daniel chuckled. That girl should learn to trust you more. Maybe she knows how much I matter to her, Sophia said, studying his face. He smirked. You matter to everyone. That's why they're jealous of us. We're unstoppable. She swallowed. Not today, Daniel. On the drive to Harris and Levine, Daniel whistled along to the radio, tapping the wheel. He was in high spirits, too high. He thought he'd already won. You know, he said, glancing at her, once this is settled, we should finally take that Napa trip. Just us. No calls, no meetings. Wine, food, and each other. That sounds nice, Sophia said faintly. You don't sound convinced, he teased. I'm just nervous. He squeezed her hand. Don't be. After today, there's nothing to fear. If only you knew, she thought. At the office, Harris greeted them calmly. Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Miller. Right on time. Daniel grinned. We're ready. Sophia smiled, though her knees felt weak. Yes. Ready. In the conference room, the stack of papers was neatly arranged. A sleek pen lay beside them. Daniel's eyes gleamed as he looked at the documents. Harris cleared his throat. Before we begin, let me explain. These papers transfer authority as requested, but with standard safeguards common in estates of this size. Nothing unusual. Daniel waved a hand. Of course. Whatever standard. I trust you. Sophia sat with folded hands in her lap, hiding the shaking. Shall we go page by page? Harris asked. Yes, Sophia said quickly. Page by page. Daniel leaned back, feigning patience, but his eyes never left the pen. As Harris read through each section, Daniel nodded along absently, not catching the subtle clauses, the trust requirement, the dual approval stipulation, the buried safeguards. Sophia signed page after page, her pulse pounding with each stroke. You're quiet today, Daniel remarked. Usually you ask questions. I'm just trusting, she said faintly. Good. That's what marriage is, he laughed. She signed another page. Harris kept his expression neutral, though his eyes sharpened. At one point, Daniel leaned close and whispered, This is history, Soph. Today we're unstoppable. Her stomach churned, but she kept her face soft. Yes. Unstoppable. Finally, Harris slid the last page across. This one makes it official. Daniel's eyes glittered. He leaned forward eagerly. Here it is. Sophia lifted the pen, hesitated. Daniel noticed. Cold feet, he teased. She shook her head. Just making sure I sign neatly. He chuckled. Always the perfectionist. She pressed the pen down and signed. Her name flowed across the page like a coded message. Daniel sighed with satisfaction. There it is. Done. Harris stacked the papers. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Miller. Daniel draped his arm around her shoulders, beaming. See, love. Just like I promised. No walls between us anymore. Sophia smiled faintly, though inside she felt hollow. As they left the office, Daniel glowed with triumph. He shook Harris's hand firmly. Thank you. You've made this the happiest day of our lives. Harris caught Sophia's eyes and gave the slightest nod. She returned it. In the car, Daniel exhaled loudly. Finally. Feel it? We're free. Free from lawyers, free from your mother, free from everyone who doubted us. Sophia stared at the road. I feel it. Tonight, we celebrate. Marlowe's, oysters, steak, champagne. The works. Sounds perfect, she murmured. Perfect, he echoed. Just like us. Later, Sophia called Lily from the upstairs bathroom, her voice barely a whisper. It's done. You didn't sign, did you? Lily demanded. I signed, Sophia whispered. But not the way he thinks. Harris fixed it. He doesn't know. Silence, then Lily breathed out. Oh, thank God. Soph, you terrified me. I'm still terrified, Sophia admitted. He's so sure he's won. He's already talking about moving money, taking trips. He doesn't know he's the one trapped. Then let him walk into it, Lily said firmly. But don't let him see even a flicker of doubt on your face. Sophia closed her eyes. I'm trying. That evening, Daniel returned home with champagne and a box of luxury chocolates. To us, he said, raising his glass with a triumphant smile. Sophia forced herself to clink glasses with him. To us. He kissed her deeply. You've made me the happiest man alive, Soph. She managed a faint smile. I'm glad. Tomorrow, he said, voice brimming with excitement, I'll begin transferring funds. By next week, we'll be untouchable. Her blood ran cold. Transfers. Just streamlining accounts, he replied casually. Nothing you need to worry about. She nodded slowly. Of course. That's the beauty of this, Daniel continued, wrapping his arm around her. You don't have to worry anymore. I've got everything under control. Inside, Sophia thought, asterisk not this time, Daniel. Never again, asterisk. Later, as he showered, she stood at the window staring at the city lights. Her phone buzzed. A message from Harris, asterisk everything secure. We'll catch him soon. Be ready, asterisk. Sophia typed quickly, asterisk I'm ready. He suspects nothing, asterisk. When Daniel stepped out, toweling his hair, he smiled warmly. What are you thinking about? She turned, masking her face. Just us. Good, he said, climbing into bed. Because that's all that matters now. He pulled her close, falling asleep peacefully, sure of his victory. Sophia lay awake beside him, eyes open, her resolve steady. The illusion was over. The trap was set. Daniel Miller would walk right into it. The next morning, Daniel whistled as he dressed, adjusting his cufflinks with pride. He moved like a man convinced he'd already won. Sophia sat nearby with a magazine in hand, feigning calm while her heart pounded steadily. Big week ahead, Daniel said, slipping on his watch. The money starts moving today. She looked up, her tone carefully neutral. Moving? Just shifting things around, he said smoothly. That's the beauty of this, you don't need to stress anymore. I'll handle everything. Sophia gave a small, controlled smile. Of course. He leaned down, kissing her forehead. I'll make you proud. When he left, her phone buzzed. A message from Harris, asterisk he's making the first move. Authorities are tracking. Stay calm, asterisk. She typed back, I'm ready. Later, Daniel sat in his office with his accomplice on speakerphone. Sophia lingered unseen in the hallway, listening. It's working, Daniel said confidently. She signed everything. First 20 million offshore already. Another batch tomorrow. Within a week, she'll have nothing left. The accomplice's voice crackled. You're sure she's not suspicious? Daniel laughed mockingly. Suspicious? She kissed me goodnight and thanked me for protecting her. She has no idea. Sophia's stomach twisted, but she stayed silent. Every word was being recorded. That evening, Daniel came home grinning like a boy with a secret. He poured champagne, sliding a glass to her. To us, he said again. She raised her glass. To us. His eyes sparkled. By tomorrow, everything will be in my hands. Napa, Paris, name it. We'll go anywhere. She forced a nod. Anywhere. Inside, she whispered, tomorrow you'll be in handcuffs. The following morning, Harris called. It's time. Bring him in. Don't warn him. Let him think it's routine. Sophia's pulse raced. What will happen? You'll see, Harris replied calmly. Trust me. Over breakfast, she turned to Daniel. Mr. Harris wants us to stop by. Just a quick follow-up. He said it's routine. Daniel frowned. Routine? I thought it was all finished. It is. He just wants to finalize everything. Tie up loose ends. Daniel smirked. Lawyers and their paperwork. Fine, let's get it over with. In the car, he was nearly giddy. After this, I'll move the big sums. Then we're untouchable. Sophia kept her gaze ahead. Untouchable. At Harris and Levine, they were led into the conference room. Daniel sat tall, flashing his confident smile. Sophia folded her hands tightly, face calm despite the storm inside. All right, Daniel said briskly. What's this about? Missing signature. Harris met his eyes evenly. Something like that. He pressed a button. The room filled with Daniel's recorded voice, sharp, cruel, undeniable. Once she signs, she's finished. We move it offshore, then through the shells. By next week, she won't know what hit her. Daniel froze. His smile faltered. Another clip followed, she's in love. She thinks giving without limits is what love means. She's easy. Once the money's gone, I'm gone. His face drained of color. He leapt to his feet. This is illegal. You can't record me. Harris stayed calm. These were obtained lawfully. Every call, every transfer, every forged signature, it's all documented. Daniel turned desperately to Sophia. You don't believe this, do you? You know me. You know I'd never. Sophia met his gaze, her voice steady though her heart burned. I heard you myself that night in the study. You called me blind. You said I was finished. Daniel's mask cracked. He dropped to his knees beside her. Soph, I made a mistake. I got greedy, yes, but I love you. I did it for us. She pulled her hand away. You wanted everything. But the only thing you've lost is me. The door opened. 2 officers entered. Mr. Miller, one said firmly, you're under arrest for fraud, attempted theft, and forgery. Daniel staggered back. No. This is a setup. Sophia, tell them, I'm your husband. Tears stung her eyes, but her voice was cold. You're my betrayer. Please, he begged as cuffs snapped around his wrists. Don't let them take me. I'll fix this. I'll give it back. She shook her head. You never wanted to give, only to take. As the officers dragged him away, he shouted desperately, Sophia. I love you. Don't let them do this. His cries echoed hollow. The door shut behind him, leaving silence. Harris looked at Sophia. You did well. Very well. Her hands trembled, but her voice was composed. Thank you. Outside, the press swarmed with cameras and microphones. Mrs. Miller, did you know about your husband's schemes? Do you have a statement? She stopped on the steps, eyes steady on the cameras. Trust is precious. Give it blindly, and you may lose everything. Guard it wisely, and it will protect you, even from those you love. The crowd went silent. The flashes slowed. Sophia walked past them, her head high. She was no longer the naive woman who believed love meant giving without limits. She was something stronger now, reborn through betrayal. And Daniel Miller was nothing more than a shadow in her past.